All right. Welcome to my gentle yoga class. We're dealing with new types of light. So right now I look like an angel because we're now in autumn. And so we have a different light to work with at this time of the day. So let's get comfortable. Let's work ourselves into the first posture of the spine, child's pose. Now you can practice your child's pose, narrow knees, or you can work into wide knee child's pose, bringing the big toes to touch, separating the knees so that the stomach can rest comfortably in between, relaxing the head and neck. And we'll start to engage our breath, working on breathing in through the nose. If and when you're able, breathing back out through the nose. Relaxing the teeth and jaw so that we're not clenching. Now, 'tis the season to be a little congested, so work your breath however you can. It's not essential, as in our vinyasa class, to stay with the nasal breath. We can breathe in through the nose and comfortably out through the mouth. That's easier on our body, easier on our nasal pharynx. Certainly is for me today. I'm a little congested. I was outside earlier, so I'm all cold. Let's take 10 more deep breaths, settling into whatever posture we've chosen. It could be laying, it could be seated. Take one more breath here. Work up slowly through the hands and knees, curling the toes under the backs or under the feet, bringing the hips over the knees, shoulders over the wrists, stretching apart the fingers. We'll find tabletop, second posture of the spine, working through 3 and 4. We'll inhale, find cow pose, lifting the chest, looking up and forward. And we'll exhale around the shoulders, dropping the chin, finding cat. We'll move very slowly, performing this 4 more times. All right. Out. Lateral bend is number 5. So since this is gentle, we're going to have a little bit of fun. So working puppy pose, I'm going to walk my hand left, looking over my left shoulder, taking a deep breath in, Looking for my tail, it's not there, so I'm going to exhale to that other side. Not there. I'm going to check one more time for my tail on the left side. One more time, right. All right. The sixth posture of the spine is twisting. So we'll check out thread the needle. So when I thread the needle, the hips stay back over the knees. I walk my hands slightly further forward so that they make a nice right angle under the shoulder. Or I guess the shoulder would make a nice right angle with the wrist. Inhale my left arm out to the side. I'm going to exhale, thread it through. I'll stack right elbow over right wrist at a right angle, you've guessed it. I'm going to turn to look up over the right shoulder, taking 5 breaths. All right, dropping out. The other side. Inhale, take the right arm out. Exhale, thread the needle. I'm ready. Work myself onto the front. I'm going to stretch my arms out, setting my right ear flat. I'm going to lift my feet and shake my feet out like windshield wipers a few times on either side. Slowly stop the legs, switch ears. Or relax the legs down, sliding the hands back underneath the elbows to the best of your ability. Turning our seal fins out, working the seal pose. I'm going to relax my lower body, so relax the glutes, relax the lower back. And then I'm going to extend my elbows, lifting up, hips are grounded, taking 5 breaths in seal. And dropping the chin. Bringing the right knee, left knee together, narrow. First we'll find narrow knee child's pose. Sit back, working ourselves into hero's pose. And we're going to check out chest expansion And then we're going to roll onto the top of the head for rabbit. We'll release the arms very gently, make fists, and hammer out our lower back. Interlacing the fingers, finding chest expansion. Taking a moment maybe to kind of shake out your shoulders. Take a deep breath in, look up. And we'll exhale, roll to the top of the head. All right. Into a low lunge or lizard's pose. We'll take that left foot forward, getting left knee over the left ankle. Now, if you've followed me along this far throughout the course of the year, you should be able to get one arm down. If you're brand new, you might be up here. You might also need to modify and work in and out, limbering up. This is a particularly challenging posture if you're fresh, if you're new to this. Now, lizard, I'm working my arms inside. So now I got this left knee by left shoulder. So far, I've kept my toes under the back foot. I'm going to let go of them right now. And then you can stay here. We're going to take about 10 deep breaths. We can move in and out, working to the right forearm perhaps. If you're moving on in your practice, we can turn the foot out and open the hip. Ooh, pop, pop, pop. And then I'll just continue to breathe. If you're getting really flexible, you can work both hands down. Now you're the real lizard. Not feeling it today, personally. I just want to survive. We did some running the last couple days, and ooh, hips are tight. It was more a run for celebration because, we had clean air, so we just had to get out, just had to. I had been traveling all weekend, and I just needed my legs to get a good, good whooping. A few more breaths. Work myself up, practicing humble warrior, where I start in just a slight bow. I walk the foot out. Now stay here unless you're one of my advanced students. And if you're one of my advanced students, feel free to practice that full hurdler, where my right hip actually sits inside of that right heel. I'll come a little closer together, and I can practice reaching forward. I'm not just merely trying to shift my hips. I don't want to put all of my body weight on that right leg, overtaxing the right knee. Should feel relatively balanced. Shouldn't be like I've just thrown all my weight over. You'll be fighting with balancing on the left. And stay there if you're one of my advanced students. And if you're still in your humble warrior, let's take a couple breaths trying to stretch out this left ankle. It's a lot of work. We don't typically ask this of our ankles. We don't typically stretch like this. So if you get a cramp, just shake it out. Take one more breath. Stretching the top of the foot. And we'll all press back. Narrow. Taking that right leg forward into a lunge. We'll set ourselves up the same way we did on the other side or to the best of our ability. And then we'll work in as low as we want. Maybe we shake out before we get low. That was tough on the other side. Now that I'm low, I'm going to go right into where I was previously. I turned the foot out onto the knife edge. And we'll take 10 more breaths. Shake that one out. I was getting a cramp. Few more breaths. All right. Bring yourself back up, curling the toes under the back foot. Working into that humble warrior. Rocking the hamstring. Working it. And then my advanced students, work back into that hurdler. One side will inevitably be easier than the other side. Working into that forward fold. My left side's definitely easier than my right. That is for sure, which is weird because I typically have just a little bit less range of motion on that left side when I'm upright. But this is a gravity-assisted stretch. Gravity to drop my hips. Now stay here if this is part of your practice. If you're still just finding your footing, ha ha ha, little joke there. Practice rocking in and out. And we'll take a couple breaths here. Try and stretch top of the ankle, embracing your inner ballerina. I talk about ballet often because one of my favorite trainings when I was in college, but as a professional staff and not as a student, was ballet inspired workout. We did an intensive training on, and it taught me so much about ankle flexibility. And I think it really improved all aspects of my dynamic ankle stability. So through movement, go ahead and press back narrow. We'll work ourselves around the seat. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. Feel free to do the same. Working ourselves into our crisscross. Now from here, we're going to work 3 seated windmills going clockwise. Up. Exhaling through. Inhaling up. Exhaling through. At the top, we'll inhale. Start the journey back the other way, counterclockwise. All right. Let's interlace the fingers. Stretch them out, stretch the wrist, reach on up. Exhale, pull the shoulder blades in. Dropping right arm over. Working just a very simple lateral reach. Nothing crazy. Opening up our inspiratory muscles, stretching our obliques, getting our lat muscles going. And we'll slowly work over to the other side. And we'll come back through center. All right, taking a moment for our shoulders. We'll take the right arm under, left arm over. We'll sit up tall, and we'll reach as far back as we can stand. Nothing forceful. Giving ourselves a big hug. This is another dimension of our chest and shoulders that we just rarely get into. We don't typically hug ourselves. And so this is a great way for you to practice getting a little bit more flexible. We do laying exercises similar to this in a posture called scissors or laying scissors. So we'll slowly release. So that's part of the yin yoga. Taking right arm over, left arm under, giving ourselves a big old squeeze, trying to get back there. As you can tell, I'm lifting my elbows up. I'm not low with my shoulders protracted. I'm retracting my shoulders, pulling them in. Now, I'm aware certain anatomy makes this difficult, and there's differences between men and women. I fully understand this. Do your best. You can accomplish similar efforts by practicing reaching back. That way we can set a control for any anterior anatomy. Not the same, but it's definitely something that we don't do on the norm, but it is a part of our flexibility sequence. What is our flexibility sequence? This would be our flexibility sequence. Now there's some negative quadrants that we want to avoid entirely. That one. We can open a door right here at 90, but horizontal arm extension, emptying a cup, not great. Reaching back here, this quadrant, not great. Reaching back there in this quadrant, not great, and potentially the worst is this one. Always avoid those. None of those are good. Those are dislocating, relocating, relocating, keeping the shoulder socket in place. All right. Last one, sitting for just the shoulders. We'll do some of the spine. We're going to take this left forearm, palm face up, right hand underneath, and we're going to stretch across. Now, this could be accomplished kneeling or standing, possibly better. If sitting like this is not your forte, then I'll invite you to do this standing up. See how, as I sit, it'll be the same as I stand. I'm not moving the lower body. This one's all about upper body. You follow the contours of my shirt, and one of the reasons I really like wearing this is it really accentuates what's happening. Tell what's moving. Now, just like I sit and just like I stand here, I'm going to turn and look. My eyes tend to tell my body what to do. Super profound, I know. But follow through with the eyes, your body acquiesces. Slowly come back to center. Take this right hand under a left hand under our right palm face up. Let's sit up tall. Make sure we're doing our best. Right arm over. And back through center. Now, working into modified double pigeon, we're going to inhale up. One arm at a time, exhaling, going forward. So now we're flexing the spine. Now you might get nowhere. You might be not even this far. It takes some time for you to relax into this. For many years, I was always just so amped up that corpse pose wasn't really my jam. I wouldn't get the most out of it. I'd practice it on my own, but at the end of class, I'd just be so elated or, full of thought that I would take this as my final relaxation pose. Everybody's different. Some people like to do the feet together, supine lying goddess. Some people like quiet seated meditation. I liked this one. And probably as a result, my hips are pretty flexible. So working forward just a little bit longer, trying this out, keeping both butt bones grounded. We'll work ourselves up. Maybe one more time we practice our chest expansion. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. Last posture of this type. So butterfly. Butterfly is just iconic. It's one of the Number one most utilized yoga poses. And, most people aren't doing yoga when they're doing it. They're just stretching their hips. It's just, it's very common in every gym class, every PE program. Absolutely everybody's flexibility routine should have some sort of hip opener like this, if not this. You see this more than you see just about any other stretch in the world. I mean, and that might be a little bit of my imagination, but I'd put money on it that this is the most widely used of all the yoga poses, besides forward fold, maybe. All right, work the legs forward, shake them out. Now, if your lower back's getting tight, you're not used to sitting on the ground, we'll take a break. We're going to roll like a ball, five. We'll set the feet flat. This maneuver is a bit abstract. It's a maneuver, it's not a stretch, but it also is a stretch. So, sounds weird? It is. Interlacing my fingers behind the back of the head, squeezing my forearms to my temple. I'll take a deep breath in. And then I'll exhale, gently roll my chin towards my chest. Pop, 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 maybe. Slowly lowering the head back down more smoothly. And not everybody gets something out of that. Sometimes I do a light scalp massage, especially when I have the short hair. It feels amazing. All right, coming back through center. We're going to smooth out the back of the shirt, pull our knees in over the stomach, rocking 5 or 6 gentle circles, first going clockwise. And moving counterclockwise. Taking our legs up a wall, alternate circles with the ankles. Take those circles back the other way. Walk the feet out. We'll shake the feet out. Stretching out right leg. Get ready for reclining curvaler. Pulling the left thigh around the left set of ribs. Bring left knee towards left shoulder. Stretching the undercarriage. Get it out. Out on the side. Slowly. Knees back to the center. Stretch the right arm out to the side. Take the left hand, right knee, inhale, look right. Exhale, knees to the floor on the left. Taking a gentle laying twist. Now, you might find that my arm doesn't come down, or my leg doesn't come down. This is the perfect place for a prop, or we could use a pillow, a block. Sometimes we call this prop a bolster. And so it's a real thicker pillow. It typically looks like a rectangle. I could even use my really small foam roller, the one that's about quarter width, maybe half width. I think it's about quarter width, quarter diameter. Take a few more breaths, trying to just get our lower back into a state of stretch that we just don't get most of the time. All right. Through center. Right hand, left knee, inhale, left arm out, look left. Exhale, knees to the floor on the right. And coming back to center. Taking the hands to the knees, tuck the chin, press ourselves up. Taking a moment of time for each other. Fun hair. Thank you for being here today. Thank you to those of you who will be here in the future. As always, if you have questions, send me an email, leave me a comment in the comment section. Take care of yourself. Until next time, take care.